Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Main Event Podcast, the only podcast you need for all your weekly updates, news, information, rumours and entertainment surrounding the WWE. We're now at episode 14 and I'm one of your three hosts, Raza, and joining me are Arif and Imran. How you doing, guys?
I'm good. How you doing, buddies? I'm good. It sounds great to be back.
It is. We are back with another episode and this is 11 in a row. Big feat for us.
Episode 811.
A little late this week, apologies for that. And of course we wouldn't be at this stage if it wasn't for the very few avid listeners we have. As we've always said, even if one individual tunes in every single week and listens, we are more than happy with that. And a big thank you to the fans and friends of the Main Event Podcast on Facebook, other social media as well. Some of the comments and feedback we receive truly is brilliant, and we appreciate every single one of you for sticking with us, even if the WWE is not your thing.
Thank you.
Yep, as we said last week, you can listen to us on YouTube, Podomatic, our website. Those of you with iPhones, iPads, iPods or iTunes in general, you've been able to download our podcast every single week. BlackBerry users can now download our podcast. Our content was approved to be available on the BlackBerry podcast store. And now you
get
can
to go in front of a panel of judges, and
Yep.
they all accepted us. Resounding success for
Yep.
BlackBerry.
Nerve-wracking moment. And now Stitcher, they've approved our content as well. So every week you can download and listen to the Main Event Podcast on the go as well. Simply add it to your playlist and listen to us. You can stream the latest in news, sport, talk, entertainment, radio, anywhere on demand. It's the easiest way to discover the best of 20,000 plus radio shows. And yeah, just visit www.stitcher.com. Follow the links on the page. And yeah, you'll find us. Again, we are really proud of this. And it's because
We're on
of
the
your
front page. We've got a big banner. It's a massive banner. It just says the Main Event Podcast. Or you could Google it.
Yeah.
Stitcher, the Main Event Podcast, and you'll find us. We're like the 812th result search, which is weird because it's episode 811. Like links.
Something like that. And as always, we want to hear from you in any way and every way possible. You can like us on Facebook at The Main Event Podcast, on Twitter at TME Podcast. You can send us an email at tmepodcast@gmail.com. And of course, please visit our website, www.tme-podcast.com,
Podcast with a P.
for all our latest content and information. Hopefully we will add more content onto that very soon. But please do get in touch. We'd love to hear from you more and more as time goes by. And we hope you stick with us in our journey to become a top or recognizable WWE podcast.
We can now receive alien crop circles as messages.
Are we upgrading now? That's
We've had a couple of messages in a bottle sent to us. Obviously, we haven't received them yet, but they've been.
that's good. But yeah, as always, we've got some.
It's coming. They're coming.
We've got some good stuff lined up for you today, just like every week. We have the reviews, the news, and of course discussions on certain topics. Last week we focused on the greatest superstars of all time. Just go on YouTube or iTunes, you can download that episode.
Oh, I've got a message in a bottle right here.
Oh,
It says, "Dear WWE, I'm really hot on this prototype guy. Can't believe he faced Shelton Benjamin in the dark match of SmackDown." Yeah, this is slightly old.
at least we got it, that's the main thing.
That's true.
So please
It
do
says
get in touch.
2002.
Oh. Yeah, but yeah, the main thing is we have got something.
The prototype was John Cena.
Look how far we've come. But yeah, you can just download our episode from last week and have your say on who you think the greatest WWE superstar of all time is.
Is it the prototype? We don't know.
You have
It
to
could
listen.
be.
You have to listen and find out. This week we're going to be, it only makes sense, we have to preview the Elimination Chamber, which takes place this Sunday. Moving on, here to bring you the greatest review of the worst wrestling show that WWE bring to you every single week is Imran with his
With
weekly
the main
review.
event.
Of, no, it's just for SmackDown. Surprising.
Just
You know
SmackDown.
WWE make this show called Superstars?
Oh yeah. Well,
That's
there's also NXT as well. I know everyone hates that.
Let's not go down that road with Imran.
Did you really say that?
Yeah.
About
I,
NXT?
that was Rizzo. I don't
That
know.
was not me. Imran knows I have an admiration for NXT.
Let's not start on NXT. Who are your...
Alexander Rusev, Crush.
Exactly. And this week actually goes to a former NXT star, Cesaro. This is the week of Cesaro. And SmackDown opens up with a massive pop from the audience, and it can only be for one superstar. Yes. Daniel Bryan kicks off SmackDown, but he's joined by Christian and Sheamus to face the Shield. Christian does the whole Christian thing. Sheamus does the few moves that he can do. But it's not all bad because all three members of the Shield put on a good match. Daniel Bryan puts on a good match. And we even see the dropkick on the side apron from Roman Reigns on Sheamus, which is nice. Yep. But it all ends with Sheamus hitting the bro kick that was intended for Ambrose, but hits Christian. And Ambrose pins Christian. Not a bad start for SmackDown. Then we get a backstage segment with Vicky Guerrero and Zeb Coulter, who hands her a Valentine's Day present, and she announces a fatal four-way match where Rey Mysterio takes on Mark Henry, Kofi Kingston, and Jack Swagger to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. Get another backstage segment with Brian Saxton and Cesaro. And if you're not familiar with Brian Saxton, he's...
Byron, as he's known to his friends.
Byron. Is he?
It's Byron Saxton.
Is it Byron? Byron?
Byron.
Byron?
Wade Barrett Saxton.
Well, he was on NXT, and clearly I don't watch NXT, you know?
Clearly.
That blew up in my face.
Spoilers, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, anyway, backstage segment with him where he interviews Cesaro and he talks about facing Randy Orton in the main event of SmackDown, but he also talks about how he will win the Elimination Chamber. Next, we get the Intercontinental number one contendership match, and any guess who won that, guys?
Oh, well, I watched Raw, so I know.
Oh,
Rizza should guess. He doesn't know.
Kofi, Mysterio, Henry, Swagger.
I'm going to go with... It's just wild guess. I'm going to go with Jack Swagger.
And it was
American Jack Swagger.
Jack Swagger will be facing Big E, who's actually called Big E now. That's it.
Drop the Langston.
I think with that, you can say the Real Americans are getting a push, but not really as a tag team, are they?
Not as a tag team at all.
Interesting.
Yep. Next up, we got some bad news, where Wade Barrett tells America that their women will be gorging on chocolates and cakes and will wake up fat in the morning.
Oh.
So he wishes them all happy Valentine's. I like that segment. Next was a massive tag team match where the Usos and the Road Brothers teamed up to face the New Age Outlaws and Ryback.
Oh, God.
One of the Usos, don't know which one, pinned Road Dogg.
There is only one, Imran.
Is there only one?
Discuss this. It's a mirror match.
Is it?
Mirror match.
Next we saw Darren Young beat Razar's favourite superstar, Damien Sandow.
Which is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Doghouse with Sandow.
After that, Titus attacks Darren Young from behind, but
Good.
Young fights back and rips apart his suit. There was a small video where Great Khali says, or something. Santino Marella interrupts The Miz versus Fandango and hits the Cobra on Fandango, which
Wait, what was the Khali segment?
What's that, sorry?
What was he trying to say?
He tried saying Happy Valentine's Day, but...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Still irrelevant, isn't it?
Yeah. If it wasn't for the hearts around him, I wouldn't know what he was saying. And then finally we got to the main event where Cesaro took on the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton. It was a great match. Not as good as on Raw, which we'll come to later in Arif's segment.
Yep.
But we got a lot of uppercuts, headbutts, swings on the WWE Champion, and Cesaro looked so good in the ring. And this is where we actually saw Cesaro as a real main eventer, as in this was a career, like, not career making, but career defining kind of match where he actually stepped up. And Cesaro got the win.
Like, that says it all. He just pinned the top dog in the WWE.
Exactly. He pinned the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Orton.
I think he's finally getting the credit he deserves.
Yes.
At last.
Yes. The week of Cesaro.
Nah, I still don't like him.
Really?
Mm,
Really?
he's bald. I have an affinity towards people with hair.
Okay. I'll accept that. I don't agree with it, but I'll accept that.
Well, Sandow has the shiniest locks you've ever seen, and yet you don't accept it?
Let's not get too technical. I still can't believe Sandow lost. That's what gets to me. Like, what's he done wrong?
I don't know, because there was one point where I actually saw him as a world champion.
That was the thing. You 1 week you're the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, and next week you're losing to Darren Young.
Hey, at least he was on the show, unlike Dolph Ziggler.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, to be honest, when I look at Cesaro, I think they're trying to push him because they've got no CM Punk right now.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, he's definitely a natural progression. You could definitely put him in the main event scene and make him huge.
I think the biggest problem with him is he wouldn't be the worldwide merchandise. He'll be European. But when you were talking about replacing Punk, in one way, yeah, because he can wrestle, we know that. But I don't think he's the big, not yet anyway, the big money maker. Compared
I don't know.
Give
The
it time.
fans are quite behind him. The fans are quite behind
Yeah,
him.
no, I
They
don't-
were Cesaro
As a heel as well.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
The fans are very much behind him.
I just mean like he will have a big European market, which is understandable being he's Swiss, but the Asian market, South Americans, things like that, I don't think he'll be able to sell as much as people like Punk.
Yeah,
and
he's,
Brad.
he's not got the worldwide appeal.
Yeah, soon he might have. Though if they don't drop the ball on this, which they're very famous for doing.
Hey, no, don't be silly. They've never dropped the ball, Sandow, Ziggler.
Yeah, but we're talking highly of Cesaro. I'm guessing he did the same on Monday Night Raw. Arif, if you wanna.
Well, of course, Cesaro is my favourite superstar. Anyway, Monday Night Raw, live from an arena in the US or Canada. I'm not sure. Maybe even be Mexico. John Cena comes out to his usual mixed reaction. He talks about the Elimination Chamber match and how it leads to the main event of WrestleMania, mentioning that the odds are that we'll have a new WWE World Heavyweight Champion at the Chamber, because that's how odds work. He gets interrupted by Zeb, who says, "You're looking at the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion," which was my best impression of Zeb Coulter. So Zeb wins at the Chamber. Cesaro takes the mic and says he will become the new face of America instead of Obama. He gets in the face of pops because he literally gets a huge pop, which is weird, because it was only a year ago when him and Orton were getting booed out of the building, and mentions that the face of the WWE is going to look funny once he bro kicks them both. Out comes Christian, blah blah by Christian, who gets interrupted by Randy Orton. Orton firstly thanks the Authority for giving him a chance to beat everyone else in Sunday. He goes on to address everyone in the ring before the GOAT himself comes out. Daniel Bryan receives large yes and multiple cheers chants as he comes down to the ramp. He points up to the WrestleMania XXX sign, WrestleMania 30 sign at the back of the arena. Cue highlight section, the pay-per-view, before corporate Kane's Fire Pyro hits. Kane books Cena versus Cesaro and Bryan versus Christian tonight, because we already have Orton versus Sheamus later. Mark Henry versus Roman Reigns of the White Family take on Sin Cara and Los Matadores tonight. Back to the action. Bryan shouts at Kane to get in the ring and fight before Christian attacks D-Bry from behind. So, heel turn potentially for the Chamber, and then maybe Sheamus Christian
Who knows?
potentially at WrestleMania.
Could be.
The finish comes when Bryan blocks a kill switch before rolling up Christian for the 1-2-3. Kane picks up a mic and announces that Daniel Bryan will be having another match tonight against him. Wow! Kane wraps Bryan's shoulder around the ring post and gets disqualified before attacking him further. Backstage segment with the Shield. Reigns reminds Ambrose that he lost against Henry last week. He didn't lose. He lost by disqualification. So, anyway, Seth Rollins is a terrible middleman, which we all know, but potentially a new CM Punk? I don't think so, and neither do my friends. He mentions that they'll beat the White Family because the Shield is made for war. Fandango with Summer Rae out next. They face Santino and Emma, who honestly look like she's here on a field trip, or she's won a contest, or she's here on like day release from the psychiatric unit. But anyway, Fandango picks up the win when Santino gets caught flirting with Emma. Mark Henry backstage with Lover Eyes Renee Young. Henry says he's going to induct Roman Reigns into the Hall of Fame tonight. 'Cause that's what I do. That's what I do, son. That's what I do. And Reigns pins Henry with a huge spear for the win. So that's what he do. After the match, the Shield all pose in the ring, but Ambrose goes on to attack Henry. Reigns laughs at him as Jack. The White family pop up on the Titantron. Bray says that the clock is ticking. So Boogeyman is back. Oh my days, the devil himself was the Boogeyman. Ah! Luke Harper asks if they are willing to die for this. In the British accent, apparently. To which Bray continues with, because if you're not, then you've already lost. Reigns tells the Wyatts to come out here and talk all that noise as the Shield stands shoulder to shoulder in the ring. And Bray Wyatt responds with, we were thinking the exact same thing. Run! Ja! The lights go out again as the Wyatt family come out to huge cheers. I think everyone wants to see this. They stand on the apron as Roman Reigns takes a step forward, and the Wyatts enter the ring as the remaining members of the Shield back up their brother-in-arms. By now, the crowd is going ballistic. But the Wyatt family back out and leave. Teasers. Teasers everywhere.
Yeah, we got it last week. We got it the week before. We got it again this week. I wanted to see him face off in the ring. I wanted to see that big finish, that big hype, that kind of like makes me buy the pay-per-view.
I think we all wanted to see it. I think that's one key thing.
Yeah.
But you're going to buy it
leading
anyway.
into the Elimination Chamber now.
You don't have to pay for it. It's on Sky Sports. So if you pay for that, you're getting it anyway.
Or you can watch it on a very trusted website
Website?
with certain streams that you pay for, of course.
Yep.
WWE Network?
Yep.
But back to the the little tease that Arif was talking about. I think in a way it's good that we didn't actually see them fight, because one of the teams would have looked weaker than the other, and I don't think that's what they wanted to go with. Right now, that's the most highly anticipated match of Elimination Chamber.
Well, I mean, if you wait till the end of Raw, I guess we get a bit of...
But could you really pick out who looked weaker out of the two teams?
Christian.
Christian looks weak every week.
Anyway,
He doesn't count.
back to our regular programming. Ryback versus the Rhodes Brothers is announced for the Elimination Chamber kickoff show. Hooray! Jack Swagger beats Kofi Kingston with the Patriot Lock, and after the match, it ain't enough by 95. As the newly named Big E, No More Langston, stares down Swagger. He's out here to face Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal, who he beats. Rusev no friends segment. So I was thinking, should we try and get him a pen pal for the show? Maybe a buddy to have? Because he's not very good at making friends. Email us at the Main Event Podcast to win a chance to be Rusev's pen pal. Cesaro versus John Cena in a potential match of the year contest. And I know you guys really want to discuss this, so I'm going to give you each 2 minutes to talk about this match.
Cesaro. Wow. That's it. How good did Cesaro look, and how good was the match?
Match was fantastic. I think that showed the level of time WWE do have. If they do lose a couple of superstars, not naming anyone, they will be able to continue like nothing's happened. I think people like Cesaro are the ones who deserve the chance because they do everything right every single week. And
But the thing that surprised me the most is that as much as I hate Cena, I'm not going to lie, Cena puts on a great match. And with recently on Raws, I skip a lot of the matches, but this match was just so thrilling, just so entertaining. It was really fresh. Some of the moves that Cesaro pulled off, and like to pull it off with a guy like Cena, who is WWE's top dog, and to outshine him, you know, I think this is brilliant.
This is because I think I heard that John Cena and Cesaro are training now. Obviously, you can tell they probably do bench a lot. So I think they probably do have a lot more time to discuss their matches. Well, their match, what's going to happen, and I think that's probably the right way to do it as well.
I don't.
He has more of a
I don't know,
European
because-
style, Mago.
I was happy with Cena as well. He won, which fair enough, I understand.
It's
But
more in your face, Mago. Mago.
I'm more happy that Cesaro's getting recognition for his match
Yeah.
at last.
Yeah, I mean, he's pulled off some awesome matches. Last year, he even had a match on main event against Kofi Kingston, where he pulled off some of those moves that we saw this week on Raw. But it was one heck of a match yet again. NXT, hell of a matches, and he's doing it on Raw with WWE's top dog.
Oh,
Good.
great. Perfect timing, because that's 2 minutes exactly. Thank God. So if you haven't seen this match, go back to Raw. Watch it in its entirety, because it really is worth it. Cena picks up the win with the AA. Backstage, Randy Orton is talking to Triple H. He is told to prove himself this Sunday. Batista comes out and says, Orton, you're not the face of the WWE. You're the ass. So that's Blandtista for you. Del Rio walks up wearing a neck brace and tells Blandtista that he's going to pay on Sunday.
I hope
You're
so.
gonna pay, bro. And I mean, medical bills aren't cheap, and that looks like a pretty terrible injury. But Blandtista must have some money lying around as he's able to shove Del Rio into a scissor lift. Triple H looks annoyed as Blandtista walks off.
Your Mexicans sound surprisingly similar, don't they? Ricardo.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying you've got really good Mexican impressions.
Well, I appreciate that. Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young is made for the Chamber pay-per-view. And the Wyatts defeat Los Matadores and Sin Cara. As well as that, Jey Uso rolls up Billy Gunn for the win. And Byron Saxton, I was going to ask Imran who he was, because he's an NXT announcer, but apparently Imran doesn't know either. And he's backstage with Sheamus. It's finally time for the main event match of the evening as Randy Orton takes on the Celtic Warrior himself. Sheamus picks up the win by a disqualification when the Shield interrupt and attack him. This leads to John Cena, Daniel Bryan, the Wyatts, Christian, and Cesaro all coming out for a massive brawl on the way to the Royal Rumble. No, wait. It's for the Chamber, not for the Rumble, which it should have been for, in a sense, because that's more of a 30-man match than this is. Anyway, still good. Raw was decent, and that's my review.
I forgot to ask him, Ryan, what would you give your SmackDown rating?
Ooh, SmackDown. When it comes to the actual matches, this week we had some awesome matches on SmackDown. So I would give it like 4 out of 5 for the matches alone.
Okay.
But it's entertainment, and it wasn't exactly entertaining as a whole show. So I'll give it like 3 out of 5.
It's not bad. Oh,
That's exactly what Raw gets for the same sort of reasons. Obviously, Cena, Cesaro, and the Wyatt family segments were immense, but everything else on the shows felt a bit bland and a bit boring. And Batista, the main eventer of WrestleMania, as good or bad as he is, was in a 2-minute backstage segment.
It wasn't even 2 minutes.
It's not how you book him.
It's, I don't know, this doesn't feel like a Raw heading into the second to last pay-per-view of...
I don't know, because like we were talking about the teasers earlier. We got the teasers, and like the way the Raw finished, it kind of paid off.
Yeah.
As in, we got to see him in the ring. Okay, it wasn't exactly Shield versus the family, but
Not bad.
Now, guys, shall we move on to the news?
Only if Arif asks nicely.
Rizza?
Yep.
Could you please do me the utmost kindness of possibly reading out the news segment? Because I enjoy the news a lot.
Anything for you, Arif. We'll kick off with some big news this week. I think this was announced yesterday. WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan will return to WWE on this Monday night on Raw, and he will host WrestleMania 30 on Sunday, April 6th in New Orleans. big news. We've been saying it for a while as well. Was that he will
Yeah,
return.
yeah. I just thought it was just.
But I'm sure me and
hate.
Arif are the ones who said he will host. Am I right?
Yeah, I hate it. As in, I think WWE's ruined it.
I think the main reason would be for the network launch. Why not have him at your 30th anniversary? He helped build it on the first ever WrestleMania. I think it makes sense. So
Yeah, I just think they ruined the announcement. Why have it
yeah,
on WWE?
I think
Yeah.
they probably do want more and more people, especially the adults, tuning into the network launch. Probably the reason, because if they miss it and Hulk Hogan appears, they probably
Yeah.
won't. It just won't be the same watching the replays.
I agree. I think it's a great opportunity for the WWE. I think announcing it before the Raw gives more coverage to Raw as well. I mean,
Yeah.
like it or not, Hulk Hogan is the household name in wrestling, and I just think that letting everyone know that he will be the guest host of WrestleMania before his actual first appearance is the right way to go about it.
But the thing is, like, if it wasn't for Rosa, right,
So
and
what?
this podcast, I wouldn't have heard about it. I wouldn't have, because I don't go on WWE.com.
Right.
No, but a lot of the wrestling websites that we frequent have had it on. So I mean, it's not like we wouldn't have heard about it beforehand, and I don't even think it's for people like us. I mean, we watch wrestling week in and week out regardless for the podcast, so we wouldn't have missed it anyway. I think it's more for the news outlets that have been picking it up.
Yeah.
So the maybe the wrestling audience that doesn't watch weekly or that doesn't watch it anymore can pick it up and realize, oh well, fair enough. Hulk Hogan's going to be there. Hulk Hogan's going to be WrestleMania host. So why not watch Raw this week and see what happens?
But this way, TMZ broke that news early afternoon that they could be announcing it, and if a big
What would you say? Would you say this is more of a business orientated announcement more than an entertainment one?
I
Yes,
think,
by far.
Yeah,
Really?
it's got to be. I think in one sense he will. It obviously is for business. People are going to tune
Best
in. Ratings are going to be
business,
high. But I think also because it is the 30th anniversary, Hulk Hogan did play an integral part in the first.
It all made sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
As I said, if you like him or not, he is to WWE. No matter what happened in TN and everything, it's WWE blood that's running straight through him.
Mhm.
Yep.
At this time, WWE reportedly dragging their feet in regards to signing Sting. The word is that they aren't in a major rush to sign Sting because they aren't looking to use him for WrestleMania 30. Sting himself was hoping that match with Undertaker would happen at this year's event. Over the past few years, Undertaker WrestleMania opponents, they'd meet up at his private gym to work out in their match. Sting lives in the Dallas area, and he said he will be willing to work with him, which is good. At least they're willing to put in the extra work, but obviously WWE don't want to do this for some reason. Most people are still expecting Lesnar to be Undertaker's opponent, but there's been worry that Lesnar and Undertaker probably aren't the biggest fans of each other, and he might
Very
not,
physical match.
he might not want,
be able to handle it.
and Lesnar might not want to spend the extra time to work out the match in advance.
There's
So,
a lot of negatives to it.
yeah. There's a talk in late 2013 about Jericho making a WWE return for at least a few months in 2014. Plans for this fell through.
What you want, be know that you just the priest,
Can I continue?
baby, got what I need.
Plans fell.
Step into the arena and break the walls down. Carry on now.
I apologise for this.
We're done now. We're done.
Yeah. Plans fell through for Jericho returning. Reports said the issue wasn't money, but instead there were creative issues that caused the negotiation to fall through, which is understandable because he was booked to lose to a Fandango, which he did at WrestleMania, which was pretty bad. Tensai is likely done as a wrestler in WWE, at least for now. He will be a full-time announcer with the company. He's been working on NXT as an announcer. He's been involved in all of the pre- and post-show trial runs WWE working on for their network. We'll see if that works out. Apparently he's doing a really good job as well. According to one source, Mr. T has verbally agreed to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame later this year. Mr. T
However,
declined. However,
However,
I'll finish. And
I get no plane.
Mr. T declined Hall of Fame induction from WWE several times in the past. There's no real update on whether the company still intends to induct the entire WrestleMania 1 match itself. That match was Mr. T and Hulk Hogan taking on Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
I get no plane.
Another source has confirmed that Cyndi Lauper, another celebrity that WWE are talking to about inducting into the Hall of Fame. What was this, however?
Oh, it was I'm getting on a plane.
Oh my.
Obviously, he'd have to travel there by car.
Anyway, Vince McMahon was the one that made the call to have the Antonio dropped from Cesaro's name. The reason for the name change was that McMahon reportedly didn't think Antonio was a tough enough name. Just to know, as Imran and I have said, Biggie Langston will now obviously go by Big E. The WWE Network reports are suggesting that at this time, 2 users will be able to use the same network account at the same time.
There we go.
Who knows if that will change in the next couple of months. But it doesn't sound so bad, does it?
Sounds good.
Yep, we just got a very long wait for this to come to the UK.
Or we could use other streaming sites.
We don't encourage that.
Don't. Yes.
If you want to do it, you can do it. After numerous reports, Vince McMahon is not going to be buying Premier League Football Club Newcastle United.
He's not?
It's not happening. So
I really want to see, like, Randy Orton come out and announce he's the face of Newcastle or something.
The face of Tyneside.
bad news, Barrett.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon and Triple H were reportedly very happy with Titus O'Neil's promo work on Raw this week.
From Preston North End.
O'Neil had been pitching a heel turn on Darren Young, and he actually went to Vince McMahon to pitch the idea. And McMahon told the writing staff that O'Neil will get his chance to sink or swim, and it looks like McMahon's happy. He said he's happy with O'Neil's character growth since his heel turn. Along with that, great sound effects here at the Main Man Podcast.
You got to chime in whenever you can.
Yeah. Following his match with John Cena on Raw this week, Cesaro reportedly received a standing ovation when he got backstage. Well deserved as well.
Yep.
Numerous talents and management officials were waiting behind the curtain when he returned. I can imagine Cesaro will be very happy with that. Some sad news now. You probably have heard of it now. Former WWE superstar Nelson Frazier, you might know as Big Daddy V, Viscera Mabel, he sadly passed away. We're told he died at the age of 43 from a heart attack.
Yep, sad news. That's
May you rest in peace.
When the Elimination Chamber match was introduced at WWE, I think everyone knows that Eric Bischoff was the man in storylines that took the credit for the creation of the match. But according to news on WWE.com, which I think in fact is been confirmed that it is true, Triple H invented that match.
It's all about the game.
Not Eric Bischoff, which was interesting. He said, I'm the one who invented it. I drew a square cage and put 4 other squares in the corner, and I said it's 6 guys, 2 start, and every few minutes another cage opens, and 1 more guy enters the fight. And everyone fights until there's 1 guy left. I thought it could be interesting because the superstars involved have issues, then there's intrigue. In typical WWE form, it was twice as big, and I envisioned it as twice as elaborate. We don't do anything small. I don't see why Triple H had to say that. It's another thing he just wants to take credit for. Obviously, it's true, so fair play to him.
Exactly, but I think Eric Bischoff got questioned that on Twitter, and even Eric Bischoff confirmed that, you know what, it was Triple H's idea.
I think it's because Eric Bischoff actually played it off, really, because of his evil smirk, Elimination Chamber. So I think I would have been more than happy to just believe for the rest of my life that Eric Bischoff was the one who came up with that idea. Some news on WrestleMania now. As far as the tickets are concerned, for WrestleMania 30, the event is not yet officially sold out. There are about 9,900 seats available, which means you probably will go for quite cheap now. Arif, you might as well get in there.
I have purchased 800 seats.
That's awesome. The nosebleed seats are going for $46.90, and you can still buy 2 front row seats for $13,000 a piece.
Got him.
Get some.
Go now.
Yeah.
Yep. One of the ideas currently floating around the WWE creative right now is for the Wyatt family to somehow cost John Cena the victory in the upcoming Elimination Chamber match this Sunday.
But I'm sure it happened on the last pay-per-view, which I forgot. Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but I think this is going to be to help the feud, or the kick off the feud between Wyatt and Cena, because
Yeah,
he attacked
that
him and it
happened
was
on
forgotten.
Rumble.
The plan for Cena's match at WrestleMania is for him to face Bray Wyatt. I think that's pretty much done. The feeling is that something needs to be done to bring the focus back on the Wyatt-Cena feud, which, as Imran said, started at the Royal Rumble. The Rock now, he reportedly informed WWE in August that he wouldn't be working WrestleMania 30 this year, but he hasn't ruled out the possibility of doing WrestleMania 31. Additionally, as we've said, the merchandise department have been told not to produce any merchandise whatsoever for the Rock.
Wow.
And
Rizzo, what do you think of that?
what do I think of that?
It doesn't matter what you think.
I actually fell into that. I don't know how. I was thinking,
Even I saw that.
why is he asking me? We've said it for weeks. Why is he asking
No, I
me
saw
now?
that.
But yeah, with The Rock, there's talk to... I think he's going to be the front runner for the WrestleMania 31 Hall of Fame.
Ooh.
Big. Who knows whether he'll accept it that year or not. WWE officials, they're under the impression that Curtis Axel, who is from Minneapolis and part of the famous Hennig family, they're worried that he might receive a babyface reaction because, obviously it's in that area. And
What better way than to not put him on the card?
yeah, exactly. As we've said, he's going to be teaming with Ryback and the brilliant team name of Ryback, so they take on the Rose Brothers in the kickoff show, which I'm sure millions will tune in to watch. Rey Mysterio's contract is the next major deal to expire in the WWE. His deal is reportedly up in approximately 2 months. While he is one of the talents in the company with the largest downside guarantee, you just sound like such a creep. Back when you said that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Dominic.
That's when you'd hear in a back alley at like 10 p.m.
Hey, that's Rey Mysterio for you. He's a weird guy.
Yeah. As I was saying, he is one of the talents in the company with one of the largest downside guarantees. He is obviously one of the top merchandise movers in WWE. Reports are saying that this is an interesting situation. WWE officials usually start aggressively attempting to re-sign talent by now. However, they've not even started negotiating with him. I think time is up for Rere.
You could say his time is up. The time is now. You can't see him. Never mind.
Yeah, you shouldn't say that. Along with Mysterio, there's reports that Alberto Del Rio may be leaving WWE. He's openly been saying it for the past few months. And as well as that, Christian might not be renewing his deal. Obviously, he's become a father as well. So,
Breaking news from
Who knows?
TNA. Christian Cage is back.
So last 3 of WWE's, you can say top talent, leaving.
I think with Christian, it's understandable. He is frustrated because he's 40, but he can wrestle. As we said last week, there are reports of him that if the WWE find someone more important than him, they would replace him in the chamber match. As you know, they did, go with him. But if there's
Hey, we never know.
Yeah, I know, but as you can imagine, obviously that wouldn't go well with Christian. He kept quiet about it for obvious reasons. He's not the only one. A lot of mid-card talents are frustrated, but they don't speak up because they know you'll end up like Sandowers right now. You'll just be fired or jobbed out.
I think as soon as he returned to WWE from TNA, this has been happening to him because he was supposed to be the guy who attacked Jeff Hardy at the time.
Yeah.
And that spot was instead given to Matt Hardy. I mean, it's happened so much to him, Christian, and it's happened a lot more recently, so yeah, why not?
Credit for going with him, though, for Christian, doing what he's told. You just said there's 3 superstars on their way out. There's another one, in fact. An article online saying Mark Henry won't be renewing his deal in 2 years. He's going to be retiring as well.
That's what I do.
Yep, that's what he do. During a WWE Investors Conference call, Vince McMahon was asked about the status of CM Punk. This is the first CM Punk story, I'm guessing, in the news.
Yep.
Great improvement.
You don't talk about him anymore.
McMahon stated that
over the news.
McMahon stated at this time, CM Punk is on a sabbatical. Let's just leave it at that. No other comments were made, and the call moved on from there. Trust me, I was in that conference call, and it was quite tense. There's a radio interview which took part this week and involved Kane. The interview wasn't great. The most interesting part of the interview came when Kane was asked how Brock Lesnar fits into the Elimination Chamber. Kane didn't answer right away. The interview asked if Lesnar still with the WWE or not. Kane did clarify that Lesnar with the company and said Lesnar will be at the pay-per-view. Maybe
Oh.
he's the man to attack Christian before the Chamber, get
Oh,
into the Chamber.
and win the Chamber.
That's actually huge. If that happens,
I'm sure we've seen Edge do it once. Was it to Kofi?
probably. Kofi always gets the shorter end of the stick.
Yeah. On the other hand, the guy interviewing Kane was under the impression that Kane would be in the chamber itself, and Kane didn't
Oh, well,
bother
there you
correcting
go.
him. So I'm not sure if it was letting information slip out or just trying to end the interview.
Or maybe it was a spoiler because Kane is the one who's going to attack Christian.
You never know. Could be.
Basically, Christian has a 1 in 3 chance of even being in the chamber
Yeah.
right now.
Finally, something Ive did point out to me kindly, Kevin Nash may finally be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Scott Hall is being considerated for the Hall of Fame as well. Many people within the company believe that an induction for the Razor Ramon would make Nash look enshrined in 2014. However, you did say to me they should be inducted together.
What?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, as in, what if they were inducted together, or what if they inducted the NWO? Would you be happy with that?
I'm more than happy. Because I think I did say both of them together. That's probably the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
And with that, the news is over. I thank Ira for giving me this opportunity to show my research skills. And
You
share
are
my
very,
video.
very welcome. Now go back to the hole you crawled out of. Because it's my time to shine with the theory of the week. Are you both sitting comfortably?
Yeah.
I am.
Then I will begin. I still believe that CM Punk will be returning for WrestleMania. That's my theory of the week.
Well, that's it. There's no explanation.
That's fine. You know what? I'll explain it. Let's move away from that for right now. Daniel Bryan. At WrestleMania, Bryan will face Corporate Kane. Now I know that I know what you're thinking, Reza. That's a terrible idea, blah, blah, blah. But just stay with me. The stipulation of this match will be that if Bryan wins, he will face Randy Orton and Batista for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the end of the show. Bryan will go on to win the title before being interrupted by Triple H. Ooh, what could Triple H want here? He will mention that Bryan has done very well, and he is one step closer to being the face of the WWE. But WrestleMania isn't over. CM Punk will return
Wow.
on the side of the Authority and mention that his new contract states that he needs a WWE World Heavyweight Championship title match right now. He will go on to defeat Bryan on the grandest stage of them all, solidifying himself as the biggest heel in this company. And that's my theory of the week.
Wow.
As
Talk about
always-
entertainment.
Ambitious.
Yes.
Ambitious?
Would you say?
No.
Would you say this is more of a fantasy than the likelihood of this happening?
Possibly. Possibly. I mean, we were discussing the idea of Brock Lesnar versus Batista a couple of weeks ago, and I think that would be more likely if Brock was to be put in the chamber itself. But then where does that leave Orton? Where does that leave Bryan? It just doesn't seem to work as well as we thought it would. But hey, anything could happen, and my theory is possible.
Yes, I hope it is. I really do. Because we need CM Punk.
Yep.
We do.
He WrestleMania as well, and what better way to give it?
I mean, we're discussing before, could this be the biggest work of all time, CM Punk walking out of the WWE? It's
Well, let's look at the facts. I mean, it's very unlikely that Punk has been able to leave and there be no ramifications or repercussions and his contract is just allowed to run out. That's very surprising. It's also surprising that no one's really slandered his name on the show.
Yep.
Everyone just seems to ignore it. Everyone seems to... I mean, we get Vince McMahon himself just mentioning the sabbatical. and things like that. It just seems a little bit too
but
suspicious.
You'd
But
think
they've
an
not.
official can go to Chicago if he's not picking his phone calls up, have a conversation with him. Then they're not doing anything like that. I personally, 50-50. This could be the biggest work of all time. It could just be CM Punk showing his frustration. I don't know. I hope it's the work, and hopefully.
But they've removed him. They've removed him off the intro. They moved him off video packages.
Yeah, but do you
They've
not
not
think
seen-
that just says a lot more than it is?
Yeah,
But they've like even the Royal Rumble. They've gone through a lot of effort to remove him out of like Royal Rumble clips as well.
which could still make it the biggest work of all time. I've not gone through that much effort before.
I think it's too much effort, and WWE
CM Punk got the majority of what he wanted with his last deal. I can see him getting a lot more done for himself. I can't rule that out.
I don't know. I don't think CM Punk will take days off like this. I see him too much of a hard worker. He wouldn't. If he wanted to make a statement, he would make it in the ring. That's the way I see him. And you know what? Like recently, when he was on Raw, when he was on like pay-per-views, he was tired. He was tired every time he cut promo. You could see it in him. He wasn't enjoying himself. And CM Punk's the one guy who would actually walk off. Nobody else would walk off like that, apart from
Well,
CM.
Stone Cold did.
Exactly.
And Stone Cold keeps coming back, but CM Punk won't. CM Punk is his own man.
That's interesting. If you listeners let us know what you think of the CM Punk situation, email us, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. We will get back to you. Arif will get back to you, sorry. And
We'll discuss it further.
we will. Moving on now to the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber takes place this Sunday, where Randy Orton will defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship inside the Elimination Chamber against 5 other men. John Cena, Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, Christian and Cesaro will all be gunning for Orton and looking to spoil and hopefully spoil his potential main event bout against Batista in the main event of WrestleMania 30. Some surprise names in there, as you can guess, Christian and Cesaro especially. Some don't really come as a surprise. John Cena is always lurking in the championship picture. So we ask who will win their respective matches come this Sunday. Here are our predictions. We start off with the Elimination Chamber kickoff. Cody Rhodes and Goldust take on Ryback and Curtis Axel. We'll go with Arif this time first.
It's going to be the Rhodes Brothers to win against Ryback.
Okay. And Imran?
I think we're going to see something here, but we're going to see a breakup of the Road Brothers.
Okay.
So I'm going with Ryback.
On a pre-show?
Yeah, on a pre-show.
And
We saw
I-
tag change.
oh, just a cheap plug. You can. I've wrote an article online, www.gimmesport.com/Kazi. You can read my side of the preview. So I will be fair and judge my predictions off my own preview and bring them here. Otherwise, I'll just be winning both ways. So I'm gonna go with Imran on this. I think Ryback are gonna win. It's not something to get excited about right now. The Road Brothers dropped the tag team championship to New Age Outlaws of the Rumble, and they probably will be looking to gain some momentum if they're going to go for the titles once more, which I doubt. As I said, I don't think they're going to remain a tag team much longer. Match between the two has been touted for numerous WrestleMania pay-per-views, but if the Goldust and Cody Rhodes match is going to happen, it's going to happen this year. They've shown no signs of splitting up, but I think this will be one of the surprises of Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I do
You're
expect...
reading your article, aren't you?
Pardon?
Are you reading your article here?
I am giving my prediction off my article, as I just said.
Okay.
Because if I didn't read my article, I would give the opposite predictions, and that'd just be unfair.
Okay.
So yeah, I do expect Ryback and Axel to pick up the win.
I agree.
You're both going to look pretty funny when the Rhodes Brothers walk out as the winners.
It's going to be almost as funny as the fact that Arif is losing in our pay-per-view race.
You say losing, I say tactically losing.
Yes. Moving on to Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. Primetime Players finally split up a couple of weeks ago. This does set up big things for Titus O'Neil. So I think, for me, you can expect Titus to defeat his former partner. They're not going to make him look more formidable. A loss wouldn't help his case. and I think this is going to be something to help Titus elevate himself in the company. Arif?
Yep, I agree. Titus O'Neil to win. It's the only real way forward. Darren Young, John Cena.
And it's a full house because I'm going with Titus O'Neil.
Titus.
I think he looks great in the ring. I've not seen much of this rivalry, apart from on SmackDown. But
Which we
I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Tag Team Championship action. The New Age Outlaws take on the Usos. I think it's obvious the New Age Outlaws aren't going to hold on to the titles for a long time. They're saying that, I'm going to contradict myself, I don't think they're going to lose at the Chamber. I think if the Usos are going to win the championships, it's going to be at WrestleMania, so I'm going to go with the New Age Outlaws retaining their titles. Imran?
Yep. I will go with the same.
And Ari?
Yep, agreed. I think it has to be Outlaws to win, the Usos to rematch at WrestleMania.
And we'll say they'll win at WrestleMania as well.
Indeed.
Yep.
Next we have championship action again. Big E defending his Intercontinental Championship against Jack Swagger. We did say a while ago the Real Americans have impressed, which is the reason Cesaro's in the bigger match, but Jack Swagger does fight for the title as well. But really, I think if the mid-card titles are going to be unified, it's Big E's going to be the man to do it. They wouldn't put that kind of... they just wouldn't give Jack Swagger the honour of doing that. So yeah, I'm going to say Big E retains his title as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think with Big E, like, he looks good with the title. He needs the title to be a proper mid-carder. And he looks so confident with the title as well. And I think it would be too early to take it off him, Big E.
I think WrestleMania this year needs Big E with the championship, and if he unifies the titles at WrestleMania, which there are some train of thoughts on that, then it would be good for him as well. But I think right now it's just not the right time to take the title away from him.
Yep.
Interesting. The match nobody wants to see or talk about, Batista versus Alberto Del Rio. I really don't want to discuss it. I'm just going to... It's obvious. I think we're all going for Batista to win.
Batista to win.
Batista.
It's just... I don't know why the match is on the card, just for a warm-up for Batista, but...
Let's not discuss it. I'm not happy
it's
at all.
Ridiculous, isn't it? This is the match to watch. I've highlighted this in the article. This is going to be the standout match of the night. The Shield taking on the Wyatt family. This could well be the last time the Shield wrestle as a trio, so it could be something to watch. Arif, what do you think's going to happen? Who's going to pin who?
Shield win, Reigns pins Rowan.
Okay.
Or Harper. Not sure.
Shield?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Bray Wyatt picking up the victory.
Yes. Bray Wyatt or one of the Wyatts picking up the victory.
It's got to be. If the Shield are breaking up, this has got to trigger it. This fine.
Yeah. I think there's only one tag team that needs to win in this match, and that's the Wyatt family. I mean, it's going to be an incredible match, as in, like...
I agree.
It doesn't matter who wins or who loses. I'm really looking forward to the match. It's been a good build-up to it as well, which I'm surprised
Short, but
from WWE, but it's good.
Yeah, but
The reason I say that Roman Reigns will pick up the win on either Harper or Owen is because it doesn't involve Bray Wyatt in the ending, whereas it still shows the strength of Reigns, and then from there you can get the jealousy angle from Ambrose, and you can still play it off for maybe a week or two before they break up, and then before Reigns faces Ambrose for the title at WrestleMania.
Who knows? Anything is possible, but Arif has gone with the Shield victory, and myself and Emma have gone with the Wyatt family. Moving on to the final match, which will decide who walks out with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Randy Orton defending his title against John Cena, Sheamus, Christian, Daniel Bryan and Cesaro.
Christian
Will be first eliminated, as I wrote, followed by Sheamus, then Cesaro, which I think will leave Orton, Cena and Bryan, but I do think Orton will survive the Chamber.
You do?
I think...
Well...
As I'm sure Arif has highlighted on numerous occasions, whoever looks weak in the build of the pay-per-view will win. How many matches has Orton lost in the...
No, but it's usually the week before and he didn't look weak
But-
in the previous Raw.
Me personally, I just think
If anything, the two people that looked the weakest were Cesaro and Christian. So look for one of them to walk out with the title.
I want Cesaro to win, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm not going to bother even trying to. But guys, your opinions. We'll go with Arif. Who do you think will walk out of the chamber with the championship?
See, it's a difficult one because if Christian gets replaced, then I'd like to see Brock Lesnar replace him and win the title. But then on the other side of that, Christian could be replaced by Kane, who's only in there to stop Daniel Bryan from winning. I think John Cena won't win because of the Bray Wyatt interference angle that may be played out, which leaves Orton, Cesaro, Christian, and Sheamus. Now, Christian and Sheamus could be played off against each other at WrestleMania, so you could have a maybe mini feud there where Christian gets eliminated and takes out Sheamus himself, which leaves Orton and Cesaro. Let's be honest, it's a bit too early for Cesaro to win. Therefore, by process of elimination, it only looks like Orton is going to win. Orton or Lesnar, depending on if can I have Lesnar as well? If Lesnar,
I think if we stick with the original chamber plans, I'm happy with Orton. But obviously, if Lesnar does be involved, I think we should be allowed that, and I would too go with Lesnar. But based on now, it's got to be.
If there's a change in the match, then Lesnar is placed in it, then I'm going to go with Lesnar. If not, then I'm going to go with Orton.
Fully agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Like, as in, I would agree with Lesnar bit. But the way I see things going down is Christian eliminated, Sheamus eliminated, leaving the four guys in the ring. Cesaro will be eliminated, but the next guy eliminated will be the face, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton, and that's where we get the two big dogs, the match that we always wanted to see again, John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, and that's where you can have the Wyatt family interference or whatever, but that's where we get the moment where Daniel Bryan becomes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion and faces Randy Orton and Batista at the main event of WrestleMania.
So you're going with...
That's the only
Lesnar
way to
and
say
Bryan.
WrestleMania right there.
Okay, that's interesting. We finally had some sort of disagreement after a very similar card. But yeah,
Looks
that
like
is...
it'll be a fun elimination chamber to watch.
Yep, obviously for bragging rights as well. So to run through that again,
WWE bragging rights.
myself and Imran went with Ryback to defeat Arif's Rhodes Brothers, a full house for Titus O'Neil to defeat Darren Young. We all agreed on the New Age Outlaws, who will retain their titles against the Usos. Another full house, Big E will retain his Intercontinental Championship. Another full house with Batista, who will beat Alberto Del Rio. Arif went with the Shield to defeat the Wyatt family. Myself and Imran think the Wyatt family will beat the Shield. And there's two possibilities for the chamber. If we're sticking to the original card, myself and Arif think Randy Orton will retain. Imran thinks Daniel Bryan will walk out the title. If Lesnar is inserted into that match, Lesnar will walk out as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. As always, we want to hear your thoughts on our picks. Provide us with your own picks, what's going to happen. You've not got long. Really, the Elimination Chamber is tomorrow night. And, yeah, it's done, guys.
Yes.
Everyone
Please
get
tune in
ready for
next
the
week.
chamber.
Yep, please tune in next week for all the fallout from Raw, SmackDown, and importantly, this Elimination Chamber, as the real road to WrestleMania will kick off with this.
It will give us...
yeah.
Next week's podcast will give us a better indication of how good or how bad WrestleMania is looking to be.
We've got a huge Raw.
Yep. Hulk Hogan,
Straight after the chamber.
Yep.
Jimmy
Don't
Hart.
forget to follow us on Facebook, The Main Event Podcast, Twitter at TME Podcast, www.tme-podcast.com. That's my podcast with a P. Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. And you can email us at tmepodcast@gmail.com.
And with that, we will see you hopefully next Tuesday. It's a bye from me.
It's a bye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. Take care, Internet Wrestling fans.